Intelligent energy provides benefits to its customers in terms of energy efficiency. What we do is clean power systems technology based on a fuel cell that works, that's cheap to make and mass manufacturable, and more to the point also recyclable, which is very important. The business model really is, perhaps because I'm a true European mixture with a blend of Austrian, Belgian and French, I tend to think of business like a cake. So I start from what's the rate of growth and where are my customers in terms of where they really want to go and where the profit growth is. And we tend to work right to left with our customer with our very versatile technology to then work out an appropriate business model that doesn't entail intelligent energy's small balance sheet to essentially finance someone else's go-to-market plan. So in essence, we've learned a lot from ARM, and what we have is a licensing plus business model, which means that as we go up and down the value chain with our customer, we identify areas where they want us to take the lead in, for instance, setting up joint ventures with contracts manufacturer, and we then tend to take some equity stakes. Our customers range from utilities, so we have a joint venture with the second largest utility in the UK for combined heat and power, Scottish and Southern Energy, Suzuki on 2 wheels, Peugeot on 4 wheels. More recently, in completely serendipity, I would say, which was not on our business plan about 22 months ago, consumer electronics and energy packaging companies for small devices. So what you need to really have is a technology that really is versatile enough so that it can follow your customers in a cost-effective way, and where really you can understand with your customer, because the opportunity cost as a growth company is very large, to go with a customer that leads ultimately to a blind alley in the long term. I think it's better if it goes in the blind alley in the short term, you know quickly. It's really to grow with that customer in that way. Now, in essence, a fabless company, a licensing business model is always subject to the go-to-market of your customer. And really the understanding, and I really cannot emphasize enough, the understanding of the customer driver and the ultimate customer driver is absolutely essential in there. So typically, our entry point for moving forward with a particular partner as a customer is we try to understand from the chief operating officer, not necessarily from the CEO or someone else, but from chief operating officer as to whether or not we are on his or her product plan, and what's the timeline for that. And again, we work right to left. We then tend to try to identify who is going to be the technologist, who is going to be the internal sales agent, so we don't have to do the sale. And finally, we also try to understand who is going to be the person in the business who's going to be the biggest ante to what we're trying to achieve. So that provides us a pretty rounded picture of what the commercial opportunity is in terms of growth. Now, one thing that you have to appreciate in terms of energy conversion devices, whether it's a fuel cell or an internal combustion engine or otherwise, is that it takes a long time to make an engine work. That's because you need to run it for thousands of hours, you need to get all the certifications and so forth. Our founders, who are still with the business, had the idea in 1988 when funding fell between two departments at the University of Loughborough, between the automotive department and the chemistry department. And the question was, how do you make a good energy conversion device? The chemist said fuel cell. The automotive guy says it's got to be cheap. Out of that comes an insight. And it takes 20 years to make a good engine work. If you look at the history of the last 100 years, it's about what it takes to do energy storage devices, batteries, wind turbines, or otherwise, about 20 years. So if it takes 20 years to get to market, that means a lot of money is invested. And if you look at all the players who are in energy conversion devices or even storage, Rolls-Royce, Cummins, Caterpillar, all the large companies who've made it, they have a very large balance sheet typically, some of them as large as some countries, so you don't tend to compete on that one. They have a design once, deploy many times approach we've plagiarized. I mean, if it works well for them, why not? And really what it means is that if you have a technology that's versatile enough, you can sell it into one market segment and then go to another market segment. And for us, that's essential. I'll give you an example. When a consumer electronics company approached us 20-odd months ago and really wanted to move very quickly, we introduced them to a company in a two-wheel, in one of our customers on 2 wheels, where essentially they don't compete at all, but they use the same technology. And the sales process for us was shortened by probably 6 to 8 months, simply because it was two corporates, non-compete, using the same technology, having a chat, and the first company asked the second company, why do you work with these guys? The answer came in two parts. First one, because the technology works, and secondly, because with our supply chain and our supply purchasing power, us as the large corporation, and intelligent energies technology, we can make a profit on it. And that then closed the sale. Now, when it comes to learning from mistakes, we believe very firmly in the rule of affordable mistakes. I think that's how, when I look at my children growing, an affordable mistake is learning how a road is dangerous when you have a truck passing by and you were not in the middle of the road. An unaffordable mistake is you are actually in the middle of the road and you were run over. So it's allow the business to have as many affordable mistakes as quickly as possible, and for people to then learn from that. We tend to learn from mistakes very much more than successes. An example of that was we went into South Africa as a country where there's a very large growing demand in terms of power. In my view, too early, really it exemplified itself by sending scientists to go and support customers out in the field, when really they should go and fix the problem that you have in the first instance back at base, as opposed to trying to help a customer in the middle of the field. They don't really know that they have to ask the question, was it plugged in? They go straight to, have you thought about the widget there, and trying to tweak that thing. Which is fine, because that's what they're really there to do, to help the business to grow. So we then took the view that having a couple of good guys in one country doesn't make an entry into a country. We took the view that the opportunity cost in terms of product development for us was way too large, and we decided then to pull back until we were ready to enter that country. Since then, we are in the US. We have a subsidiary in California. We recently entered the Indian market, where there's a very large grid support requirement in terms of energy. We're also in Japan, where some of our largest customers are. So we tend to also learn from our mistakes, but also our competitors' mistakes. It's usually nice when someone else's dollar helps you to actually grow your own business. On these good words, I shall stop.
Thank you.